Happy New Year, Leafs Nation. I'm Rick Scarborough, and you're watching Blue and White Weekly, where we bring you weekly updates on the Leafs and the hockey world at large. I haven't showered since last year, but that's not what's important. What's important is we have a brand new week of Maple Leafs hockey to talk about, so let's get into the news. The United States claimed gold in the World Juniors on Sunday, and I'm not going to talk about it. Coming soon to the channel, our junior intern Gilsey will bring a complete tournament recap as well as a look ahead at next year's tournament. The Chicago Blackhawks and St. Louis Blues squared off in the annual Winter Classic on New Year's Eve, with the Blues taking the game 6-2. And now I'm going to implore the NHL to please add any other teams to the Classic. The Blackhawks have now appeared in 5 Winter Classics and the Blues in 3. Please go anywhere else than the American Midwest. Go to Vancouver, go to Columbus, or, and this is a radical idea, play at neutral sites that don't have NHL teams and do what you always say you're going to do and grow the game. Go to Halifax, go to Atlanta, or literally anywhere other than Chicago again. Please. The Maple Leafs announced on Friday a 2-year contract extension for defenseman Philippe Myers. The 27-year-old has suited up in 11 games for the Buds this year, spending a sizable amount of those games as Morgan Riley's partner on the top line. The extension carries an $850,000 cap hit. And now for the games of the week. The Leafs capped off 2024 with an afternoon game against the New York Islanders. David Kampf opened up the scoring in the first, and as soon as the Islanders tied it, Steven Lorentz gave the Leafs the lead again with his 4th of the season, breaking a 23-game goal drought. The game would remain like this until John Tavares sent an empty netter off a face-off win in the Islanders zone with no goalie in the net. Look at this. What is Patrick Waugh thinking here? What is the plan? Craig Berube didn't even know, as he was quoted after the game saying, quote, "I think it's the first time I've ever seen that." Well, Waugh, thank you very much for trying something new, as the Leafs take this game 3-1. The Leafs and Islanders party rolled into the new year as they finished off the second half of the back-to-back on Thursday on Long Island, and still, 7 years later, Islanders fans continue to boo John Tavares whenever he enters their arena. All I have to say is a quote from the late great Winston Churchill, "We live in rent-free, bro." The game was already high tension, with momentum carrying over from the game in Toronto, but things hit fever pitch when Max Domi threw this reverse hit on Isaiah George. And the man of the hour was Bobby McMann, as he scored both of the Leafs' goals in this one in a 2-1 win to end the season series against New York. The Bruins came to town on Saturday, and if you're a gambler, I hope you took the over, as there were a total of 10 goals in this contest between the two teams, and Matthew Knies contributed to half of them, potting 3 goals and collecting 2 assists for a total of 5 points. Leafs captain Auston Matthews made his return in this game, and I'm trying to get in touch with him about being my partner for pool night at the pub, as he pulled off the cue shot of the century with his empty netter to seal the victory 6-4. For a more in-depth look at just how impressive Matthews' empty netter was, we're going to throw to our junior intern, Gilsey. What's going on, fellas? It's me, Gilsey, and I am back on Blue and White Weekly, where we're going to try something a little different today. You probably saw Pappy's nice little empty netter from the other night where he popped that in, chasing down the puck. And, inspired by that, we're here at the billiards table. We're going to try something a little funky. So, inspired by Pappy, instead of using the good old-fashioned pull cue to sink this 8-ball into the pocket there, pull cue, it's nice and all, but nah. Taking a cue out of Pappy's book, we're gonna go for one of these. That's right, a real man's weapon, or reliable, the wood hockey stick sure would have proved. You already know what's up, baby. All right, so in Pappy fashion, he used the blade because he's just like that. I don't trust myself that much. I'm using the butt of the stick, and here we go. It's just like that. Little ricochet kills. You already know how it is. All right, that is me, Gilsey, for Blue and White Weekly. Let's send it back to Ricky. The Leafs kept the momentum going on Sunday as they head into their 5th back-to-back in a row, thanks a lot, Gary Bettman, against the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers opened up the scoring, but Matthew Knies answered back quickly to tie the game up again. However, it would not stay tied for long as Oliver Ekman-Larsson scores late in the first to give the Leafs the lead. Also late in the first period, Jake McCabe begins to push and shove with known rat Garnet Hathaway, and, after a quick scuffle, McCabe is taken down, but Hathaway appears to slam his head into the ice on the way down. McCabe was wobbly getting up and did not return to the game. The Leafs announced today that Jake McCabe was placed on injured reserve and is likely being evaluated for a concussion. As for Garnet Hathaway, I expect nothing else out of the same guy who used to spit on his opponents when they wouldn't fight him. The Flyers would tie it up in the second, and after a mostly uneventful third period, we would need overtime to settle this, where Morgan Rielly would play the hero and bring the Leafs to a 3-2 win. The Leafs have now won 5 of their last 6 games. Looking ahead in the week, it's another home-and-home as the Leafs head to Philadelphia on Tuesday for another matchup with the Flyers. Then we're in Carolina to square off with the Canes on Thursday, and then back home against the Vancouver Canucks on Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday. We'll have all those games for you next week, plus so much more. But for now, thank you very much for watching Leafs Nation. Be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, go Leafs, go. We'll see you next week.